I wanted to do an update. I realized that I never did an update, and it was because I was so uber depressed about this situation. There's like a video of me getting fucking arrested by a bunch of dicks in Newburgh who claimed I was never under arrest, but I was in handcuffs. And in like under 30 seconds, just for walking on the wrong side of the road where there was no sidewalk, and it was winter, and I was trying to avoid ice and snow, and there was no crosswalk. So 1156 says that it's not a violation if there's no sidewalk and there's snow and obstruction, and on the other side of the street, and there was no crosswalk from where I was coming from either. So, they had no right to arrest me, and I didn't do anything wrong. But I got surrounded by 6, maybe 8 guys, and an ICE truck was in front of, ICE meaning, immigration, in front of the other 2 cars that came. You would have thought I was fucking, who's that lady that was the cocaine queen? You would have thought I was some kind of a fucking drug dealer or like major criminal, but I was literally only walking, and I'm not in trouble very often, and it's not for really anything if I am. I don't even have a speeding ticket right now. I haven't had one at all. So, and no DUIs or anything. So, so they surrounded me, and then they wound up saying that I was trying to kill myself and that I was running and screaming, and they kept lying. They lied when I asked to speak to the supervisor, they wouldn't speak to the supervisor in front of me. They put me in the car in handcuffs so that so the supervisor couldn't hear the truth of the story. So they lied to him, and then when they were like, oh, yeah, she was running up and down the street, she was, suicidal. And he goes, oh, yeah, well, yeah, you have to arrest her. And I was like, that is not what happened. And then they were like commiserating and getting their story together because they realized they fucked up and that I was not a moron and I knew my rights. That really fucked them up. They didn't like that. So when I asked for the tape, they gave it to me in June. And my court, they said they wouldn't give it to me until my court date was settled. And I was like, okay. So I settled the court date. They gave it back to me. I can't sue the police until 90 days after the event, only up until 90 days after the event happens. And that would have been like, late March or April, early March. So they knew that. So they didn't give me the video until then. And then by the time I got the video and I had gone to court and it was completely dismissed, the judge laughed and was like, what the hell is this? I said, yes, I know. So by the time I saw the judge, because they, people like that, they do things like, pump up charges and do stuff to get you in trouble more because they're mad at you for bringing charges against the police department. So you really have to clear up your court case first, kind of, so you know where you stand. And I didn't want to go to the court case and get arrested and have them fuck with me some more. But I didn't know about that law. So, yeah, they knew what they were doing. They're completely disingenuous scumbag cops that they ruined my birthday. They had me in the hospital in handcuffs. They said I was suicidal, running down the street. They lied on me so bad. And it was humiliating to have that happen to me, and I didn't get a fucking penny. And basically cops and lawyers, if I had been a white man, they would have said something. They would have cared about it because his pride would have been hurt. But as a non-white woman, or a black woman or woman of color, whatever you want to call me, because I'm multiple things, I'm not important enough for them to care about my life and my pride. My pride doesn't matter because I'm not allowed to have it. And my to be embarrassed, it doesn't matter because they just figure, oh, she's a worthless person. And that's just the way that they look at it. The lawyers look at it that way. The cops looked at me that way. I just feel like it didn't even matter. So they got to completely humiliate me and scare me to death. And I thought they were going to kill me because when they were saying that I was trying to kill myself, I was really scared because I was like, why would they say that? They're gonna kill me, you know? And I just didn't know what was going on. It was terrible, but whatever. You know, and it's really hard to get a lawyer too now because what happened to me, I survived it. And that was when I had started looking for a lawyer, was when ICE was really attacking everybody. So, you know, there's so many people needing civil rights attorneys. They looked at my case like, well, at least you're not kidnapped by ICE. So just nothing worked in my favor, period. But thanks for your videos. They were very funny, and I really appreciated the, you know, light that it shone on those losers.